Never thought we'd see the day. There's a gin episode.
Well, I didn't like tequila either
Well.
until we done tequila.
Welcome to How to Drink Bourbon, Tequila, and Other Spirits. We are the Drink Neat Guys. And today, believe it or not, we are doing our first ever gin episode. Now, to be honest, we have been gin bashers in the past, and this episode may not be any different from that. However, we're at least going to give it a try.
Yeah, I'll give you that, and we're going to give it a try.
All right. So, Matt, tell us what we're drinking here.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Blind taste test. This is good.
Nobody told me what was in each one of the sample bottles, so I have no clue what I have sitting in front of me.
Same way.
All right. The smallest sample that you got from me is the Bombay Dry Gin, which you will see anywhere and everywhere gin is sold or gin is served. It's like
drinking the jars, and then we're drinking sample D of my bottles.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
And you should have a jar that has significantly more in it than the other.
Yeah.
The one with the significantly more is the Aviation Gin, which, as we have discussed privately, is Deadpool approved.
Okay.
This is Ryan Reynolds gin. And then a local gin from one of the Kentucky distilleries, which Tim is holding up the bottle.
Castle and Key.
Castle and Key, the restoration release London Dry Gin. They had two gins down there. They had another gin. I think it was a spring release. And then this is the restoration release. And it was 106 proof, so I went with it. The other was like an 85 or 86. So.
Well, yeah, of course.
I got the heavy stuff.
That's excellent. That's I'm making an adjustment here. So, all right. Well, the first thing I think we should go with, and my adjustment's not working. First thing I think we should go with will be the Bombay, because, like I said, it's just sort of everywhere, and with it being everywhere, you're going to find it. It's going to be something that if you go in and order a gin cocktail, I don't know of very many people except for just raging alcoholics that drink gin by itself. I mean, there's all sorts of gin cocktails that are available. It's just a matter of what you are looking for. And I am going to pour me some of this. Again, this is the original Bombay Dry Gin. Like I said, I'm sure you've seen it a little bit everywhere that you've ever seen gin. I know it and Beefeater are prevalent, and maybe one day in the future, once we get past this episode, we can discuss comparing Beefeater with Bombay and this, that, and other. But anyway, right off the nose, I got hay fever.
Oh, it's so floral, it's not even funny.
I get the lemon, real big. It's like a citrusy.
And it's interesting that you say that because, a lot of the gin cocktails that you order are sour, quote unquote, sour drinks that have lemon or lime juice. And in fact, here at the end, we're going to be drinking one of my favorite gin drinks. Not that I drink a lot of gin, but when I order gin in a restaurant, it's one of the few drinks we'll discuss in a minute. But definitely floral.
I don't get as much pine tree as I was expecting.
Yep. Well, I remember my first experience with gin was in college, Beefeater Gin. The boys I was running around with, they were decided that's what we were going to drink that night. So we drank gin and tonic, and they kept telling me the secret to a good gin and tonic's a lot of ice, and I probably spouted that. I don't know. I don't have any tonic water in the house, but anyway, there was just a little bit, like this much, left in the bottom of the bottle. Well, a little bit less than what I've got left here, which the line's right here. But anyway, I decided I was just going to kill that bottle straight up. And okay, young, dumb, and full of gin. At the time, I turned the bottle up, and let me tell you what, if rubbing alcohol has a flavor, that's exactly what I thought gin tasted like. And
No, it don't taste like rubbing alcohol.
it does not taste like rubbing alcohol. But at the time, that's the only thing I could equate it to. But this, I don't know if you've noticed the legs on this.
I don't know
I
if I
just
can
noticed
tell.
as I take a sip out of it, there where the gin came up, that the legs running back down into the, it's probably hard to see in a jar.
It
In
is.
jam jar, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can tell. Probably can't because it's out of focus.
Yeah.
But there is some serious viscosity going on there.
Cool.
But this is not horrible.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what a good gin's supposed to taste like,
Well,
but
I don't either.
me personally, I won't drink this. So,
Well, like I said,
It's not something we can sit around and drink on some ice or just drink
No.
straight.
how many people just drink gin by itself? And like I said, gin, in my opinion, gin's made for mixing, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
All right.
So let's go on to the Castle and Key, because I want to save, famous Dave, famous Ryan, Deadpool's Aviation Gin for last. So this is the Castle and Key, which is, where's Castle and Key at? They're up around,
Basically, Frankfurt,
okay.
just on the south side of Frankfurt.
I thought they were a little further west than that.
The old E.H. Taylor distillery. So the distillery has got a lot of lineage and a lot of history, and they're trying to revive it and bring it back. So what you do before your bourbon gets aged, before you get it out of the barrels, is you make gin, you make vodkas. Now this smells a whole lot more piney than what we just had.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I guess juniper is what you're looking for. The label says botanicals are chamomile, ginger, rosemary, lemon verbena, licorice root, angelica root, coriander, and juniper.
Who in the world would have thought to make alcohol out of that stuff?
Alcoholics.
I guess so.
Somebody looking for something different to stand out.
I just
Phew.
It's like everything you make tea out of,
It is. We'll have to try this in some tea and see how it goes. Now, this is 106, so it's different from the 80 proof we were just drinking. Just keep that in mind.
Well, I know that I'm swirling around looking at legs, and it's pretty viscous on its own.
Woo. Mm. It's warm now.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I get a lot of ginger.
Yeah, there's a lot of ginger.
You ever eat roasted pine tree?
It does taste like pine, some pine.
Yeah, I do get the ginger. That's not a bad taste.
This and a mule.
If you say so, Ben, I won't drink this stuff, but for this, I will. I'll try it once, but
hey, I tell you what, like I said, this mixed in something where you're not looking for, when you drink bourbon, you're looking for the bourbon flavor.
Mm-hmm.
right? When I drink tequila, I'm looking for the hot pepper tequila, the
Right.
natural flavors of the
A
guy.
certain profile.
Right.
Right.
When you're drinking gin drinks, you're just, it's like vodka. But anyway, this is not, like I said, you could put that in a mule with something that's already got, ginger beer in it, and it just blend right in. And what goes in the mule? Lemon juice, ginger beer, and some sort of liquor. I know Kentucky mules are the best way to go with that, but that would go in one of those. I don't know what you'd call it. It's probably got a name. I have figured out that, and we'll talk about this in a minute, that a bunch of the same drinks have different names. They've got the same ingredients, almost the same ratio. And it's just, but you call one thing and one another. But okay, so the Castle and Key.
I like it a lot more than I do the Bombay. Bombay is just, to me,
Too floral.
hell, it's just there. It's just something to throw in a drink. But this has actually got a little bit of character. It's not like we're going to be drinking a bourbon, Matt. It's not going to. Okay, let's just cut to the chase right here. It's not going to taste good.
I've not tasted one yet that I'm going to say was good, but I'm not a gin fan. Never have been. Don't drink it.
Let's see. Counting all the gins I've drunk in my life now, I've had 2 different ones. The ones in front of us, and that's about. I've never had gin before in my life, but if of the 2 so far, I would drink the Castle and Key if I had to.
Well, I agree with you. I like it a lot better, and maybe because it's got such a bold flavor, that's why it's you'll find your Bombay in places to be mixed in drinks because there's nothing really outstanding about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
After let it sit for a few minutes, it don't smell as piney, or it may just be me. I don't know.
Well, could be some of the esters burning off and this, that, and that other. I say this, that, and another a lot, but anyway, I've been told that several times too.
Yep.
I would never tell you that, Ben.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the Aviation. Now, I have to say that this bottle is sexy.
It is.
I mean, it's got a very distinctive design to it. It's very very Art Deco, which I really like Art Deco.
Mm-hmm.
The label's Art Deco. I mean, the presentation of this is excellent. And I'm not just trying to suck up to Ryan Reynolds. I don't have to. Anyway, all right. So let's crack this open and see where we're going with this.
A real quick disclaimer: we are not sponsored by Bombay Gin, Castle and Key, or Aviation, but we are open to the possibility.
Well, I guess I better start talking nice about gin then.
Okay, so I sampled a little bit of this last night, and it does have the floral.
Well, yeah.
It's not quite as viscous as the other 2.
Well, I noticed to the nose, it's not as strong as a Castle and Key.
Right.
I have to say it's not bad.
It's got a better flavor than the Bombay, and it's got that floral flavor. It's not as piney as the Castle and Key was, but it does have bolder flavors than the Bombay, definitely. And I don't have a problem with this as far as what gin is and how gin goes. This is not horrible. Actually, it's pretty good as far as gin goes.
You smell root beer?
I can get that, yeah.
I get the taste. I kind of get a little taste of it.
It's like root beer candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horehound candy.
Horehound candy. Very much so.
That's it. I had an aunt, man, and every time that you went around her, you could count on her pulling a piece of horehound candy out of her pocket. That's what that is. That's horehound candy to me.
You know, I have to say, Horehound candy is some of the best candy out there.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it's made the old-fashioned way. You know, it's not complete total sugar. It's
I don't know if
molasses and
everybody knows
sugar.
what that is. That may be just a
Horehound.
regional thing too. I don't know if you can get that across the nation or not. You know, because we're reaching all the way across the nation.
Well, that's true. Cracker Barrel, you can always get Horehound candy at Cracker Barrel, and it's pretty good. But you remember the long sticks of it
Yep.
that
Oh
you used to
yeah.
be able to get? Oh yeah, that's good stuff. But this, I have to say, Ryan Reynolds put his name to it, and it's a pretty good celebrity endorsement.
If I was going to drink gin, it would be this.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And you know, Matthew McConaughey is face of Wild Turkey now, and I have to say, Long Branch is
All
some.
right, all right, all right.
It's all right, all right, all right. And I have to say that this is definitely Deadpool approved.
I don't like the Bombay at all. Now that I drink this,
Yeah. Yeah.
Castle Key, I think it's a little hotter at 106. That may be just a little bit too hot for a gin. It is for me. And
I wonder.
the juniper and the pine. This has got more. I think if I was mixing drinks, this would have more versatility. You could do
Yeah.
more with this, and you could get more flavors than you could both of the other ones put together. The Bombay just tastes like a bath water. You know, that's that old bathtub gin.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, I'm looking up price points here. I know that the Aviation was tax and all out the door was 33 and change. Let's see what a bottle of Bombay goes for here.
Castle and Key was 28 and change plus tax, so it was $30.
Yeah. Oh, Bombay Dry Gin, $17.
Well,
and now you know what's behind the bar and in the well, and you know you've got to throw it in something. But I still don't think that if I see Aviation sitting on the shelf, I'm going to say, "Oh yeah, give me some gin. How you want that? Neat."
Well, this, you know, I agree. If I was to drink a gin drink, I would probably call Aviation. It for sure wouldn't be Bombay. And I think the Castle and Key is just too high of a proof point for what they've got. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder how it compares to that. We'll have to get a bottle of their the lighter version, you know,
well,
and see how it compares. Because I'm sorry.
It was a lighter. It was not near as hot, but this, you know, I'm thinking, hell, if we was drinking whiskey or bourbon, you know, I'm going to get the 106 before I get the 84.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Aviation is 84 proof, and Bombay is actually 86 proof.
Yeah.
So,
Castle and Key is a 106, and I think 106 is too hot for.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to talk about my favorite cocktail, and because, like I said, gin, in my opinion, is made for mixing cocktails. When you think about the gin cocktails that are out there, especially with summer coming on, you've got the Tom Collins or the Gin Fizz, and there's actually, if you go into a restaurant and order a Tom Collins, or if you order a Gin Fizz, you're going to get basically the same drink. The only difference back in the day when all this mattered was the type of gin that was being used. And when I say back when it mattered, this is 1800s. And how it was served. Tom Collins is served in a bigger glass over ice, and the Gin Fizz is usually served by itself without ice. It's chilled, it's shaken, of course, because you're mixing juice and alcohol. But it was made to be just chilled and served in a rocks glass by itself, no ice. And that got lost over the course of history, I guess, because I mean, I read an article on it. It's the only reason I know it, because I didn't know what the difference was, because they both have, 2 ounces of gin, basically, and I'm not looking at a specific recipe, 3/4 of an ounce of something sweet, 3/4 of an ounce of something sour. And that's basically the way any sour cocktail is made. If you've got some sort of citrus juice, some sort of alcohol, and some sort of sweetener like simple syrup or agave syrup, then you can do whatever you want to with any alcohol that you've got, because you're basically going to make a sour. And the ratio is usually about 2 ounces of alcohol, 3/4 of an ounce of something sweet, 3/4 of an ounce of something sour to offset it. Now, that being said, that being said, we're not going to have a gin fizz tonight. We're actually going to have a gimlet, which same type of thing. The basic gimlet recipe that I followed was 2.5 ounces of lime, half an ounce of, no, sorry, 2.5 ounces of gin. That'd be a lot of lime. That would pucker you up.
Yes, it would.
On both ends. Anyway, 2.5 ounces of gin, half ounce of lime, and a half ounce of simple syrup. And first gimlet I ever had was at the Edison at Disney Springs, and I have to say that I just wanted to try it. Basically, that's what I've put in here, is what I just told you, and it needs to be served. My ice has melted a little bit; it's got a little water in it, but strained over ice. And I told the guys to mix this up. Should be garnished with a lime wheel. I've got a lime wedge because I wedged my lime and didn't leave any for wheels. So there you go. But anyway, guys.
I'm gonna have to stand up and mix mine.
Okay. We can hear him shaking. Now you can adjust the ratio of the sweet to sour to taste, but it's really hard to pick up the floral notes.
The ice kills it in the lemon or the lime. I think the lime's overpowering it.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just walk up and smell it, I'd think margarita, especially if it was at your house. I'd think this is a margarita.
You still get some floral notes, and I'm curious because I'm going to do this with the Castle and Key in a little bit. But it's basically a sour. This is a summer sitting on the back porch, adding gin to your lemonade. In this case, it's limeade.
Yeah, I can see that. It's clean. It's brisk.
It's refreshing.
Finish is good. I mean,
and it's hard to drink. There's Matt back.
It's good, I have to say.
It's hard to drink bourbon and rye in the summer. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, just, you don't have to hold a gun to my head to make me do it. But
done it this morning. So
it was cold this morning, though. It was really cool. It's still cool.
I was in the office, so I had the old standby.
One of my faves.
Writing some coffee, and then still wasn't feeling good, so had a couple Bloody Marys.
This is
better now.
It's a good way to start the day out. Get your vitamin C that way. See.
Absolutely.
This is a good way to. And actually, it's funny that you said this. This was actually a cure for scurvy back in the day.
Well, it is loaded up with the vitamin C's, ain't it?
Yep. Now, I think it's got a little bit too much lime juice.
Put more gin in it.
Well, the gin would bring out some more of the floral. I really like, I do like the sour. I like the whiskey sours. And guess what? You can replace gin in this with rye or bourbon or vodka or whatever else you want to put in it. And you've got a cocktail. And it's basically going to be a sour cocktail, and it should be balanced and everything else. But anyway, I really like this because I like lime. I've had Tom Collins, and I do like Tom Collins. Now, Tom Collins, I mentioned the lime and the simple syrup. It's usually and the fizz. They both got fizz, and it comes from um, soda water, seltzer, um, whatever you call it, sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
Anyway, the I don't keep that at the house, and I don't know why, because every Tom Collins I've ever had, it's been a nice experience. But there again, it's like gin and lemonade. And I think that if you're going to drink gin, you need to balance it with something, because just by itself, it's just not something I want to drink.
I've gone into hell with it mode, so I'm mixing up 3 of these vodka gimlets.
Okay.
I expect after I taste them, I'll pour them all into one, or at least gin gimlets. I'll pour them all into one, see how that goes.
Well, there you go. Hey, it's all about tasting what's in your glass and then figuring out how to use it.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Bombay tastes like lemonade, limeade. Because it just, to me, it
disappears.
folks might want that. It just has nothing that can help out on that drink. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I measured the simple syrup right, I measured the lime juice right, but I've made limeade, and the Bombay is just, I guess it's in there. Now on the Castle and Key, you can smell it. You can still smell the junipers in it coming out when you raise it up. So it's not overpowered.
Let me make that one while you all are talking.
But it's still not as good as the Aviation. I would drink this again.
The Aviation is sort of it's good for cocktails. I mean, it's got a bolder flavor than the Bombay.
It does.
But it's not as harsh as the Castle and Key.
Yeah. Well, I probably shouldn't have bought the hot stuff, but
hey, I like it. I mean, it's, of course, you know me. I'm open to more experiences, I guess, than.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't mind trying things, and that's we talk and joke all the time about me drinking IPAs. I like a hoppy, bitter IPA.
Right. Like licking a grapefruit, and that's fine.
Yep.
Somebody that likes gin, and I might ask around and see if I can find somebody that likes gin. They might like something a little hotter, because I don't think gin normally comes at 106 proof. You don't get barrel proof gins. But
it's because gin never sees the barrel.
Exactly. I think that's just too hot.
Oh, yeah.
But
definitely comes across. It really.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, one night after we get past this COVID-19, when we can all be in the same room, whether we record it or not, we just need to experiment with some gin-based drinks. I know if you go looking at gin-based drinks, there's a lot of drinks where they'll put an egg in it. They'll put an egg white in it. They'll put an egg yolk in it. And I'm just like, really? That's weird.
I see I got my jars mixed up, but I could tell which one this was because it smells like root beer.
The Aviation's got more of a root beer.
Some Aviation left, so I'm going to hold on to that and make something else with it.
I don't mind gin in a cocktail, and I know that we have bashed gin, and if we were to go out to a restaurant or a bar, I'm the guy that would order some sort of, I would order a gin cocktail if it was on the menu. I don't think I've ever went into a restaurant and said, hey, well, actually, when we did the Urban Bourbon Trail, me and Matt took the boys up last summer. and we went to what was it, Up 8, the bar
Mhm.
that's on top of the.
Yeah.
And I did. That was my first Tom Collins because I wanted to try it, not because of any other reason other than, these are classic drinks that have survived the test of time, and it was just one of those that I wanted to try. Another thing, while we're winding down here, you've heard of a gin Ricky, which was named after some senator. Um,
No, sorry, I haven't heard it.
well, anyway, there was a senator whose last name was Ricky. That's what he would order. It was a gin Ricky, and it was basically lime juice and gin without any sweetener to it. So if you can imagine this without simple syrup.
No.
Ooh, yeah.
And
You'd have to do it like a shot of tequila or something, back in the day.
well,
like a good quality tequila, like say Patron.
oh goodness. Anyway, made me lose my train of thought. Back in when American Horror Story did Coven, they did this whole story of the Axeman, which had some roots actually based in history, but anyway, they were drinking whiskey Rickies, and actually it was a bourbon Ricky. So you could take bourbon with its just natural sweetness that it has, mix it with a half ounce of lime juice, and you basically got a bourbon Ricky. If you ask me, and I've put bourbon, lime juice, and simple syrup together, just to see what it'd be like, and it's all right. It's but you know how we are. We put the bourbon in the glass, leave everything else out of it. But anyway,
Talking about Urban Bourbon Trail, man, if anybody ever needs some pointers on how to do the Urban Bourbon Trail right, I think we done it right. If you ain't getting your T-shirt the day you start, then you just ain't fucking doing it right.
And
that's true.
hey, let me tell you what.
You ain't drinking double old fashions at every bar you walk into, or the all you can drink Bloody Mary bar.
Oh man,
you ain't doing it right.
Where were we at the Bloody Mary bar? Because I don't remember. Now that it was a good Bloody Mary.
Oh, it was great. I don't remember the name of the place though.
I remember going to the place that had the art gallery that's got the statue of Satan there with the apple.
Where you pee with the two-way mirrors and you're looking at everybody else.
Yes.
Yep.
They had the smoked old fashioned.
They did, and that was the first place I had a mint julep that I actually liked.
Yeah.
And we should do an episode on the mint julep since it's like the state drink,
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah. First episode of May, that is Derby weekend.
That is,
even though the horses ain't gonna run.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? If you take everything that you hear, we might be on the downside of this thing. Downhill slide anyway. So let's hope.
Well, we need to wrap this one on up because Uncle Andy will be on in a few minutes, and I need to hear what he's got to say.
Well.
All right. Guys, we did a gin episode, and I am so proud of you for subjecting yourself to this.
Well,
so proud.
I appreciate it. I've suffered a little bit, I have to say.
Really?
Not a fan, but the Aviation Gin is by far my favorite. If I'm going to drink gin, that's the one I would drink. The Castle and Key is not down my alley, and the Bombay isn't either. So
when we're sitting on the front porch in the rocking chairs, spaced 6 feet apart, later on this summer, I'm going to serve y'all some gin fizzes or Tom Collins, but I'll make it with Aviation, and you all should be able to suffer through it.
On a hot day, during the summertime, that's good to start out with. But hand me a glass, hand me a bottle of bourbon, and I'm good for the rest of the evening.
Man, that's hard on a hot day in July. When you come in from mowing the yard, man, I really don't want to take a shot of
I
bourbon.
got that keg of Yingling out back, so that usually does the trick.
There you go.
If I'm going to do that, I'll come in and grab a Corona and put a shot of tequila in it. Make me a Mexican fire engine.
That's right. That's right. That right there is the way to go.
Now
I'm like Matt. I'm not much of a gin guy. The Bombay, if you need to spend $17 to buy a bottle of gin, buy Bombay, I guess is a good way of saying it. I really believe the proof.
If you're homeless, buy Bombay.
Right. You know me. I'm going to break this down to the nth level, and I'm going to look at my notes again tomorrow to make sure I didn't miss nothing. But I think the Castle and Key, I think 106 is too hot of a point for a proof point for a gin. Now, there may be gin folks out there that like gin and want something a little hotter, and you might want to give it a try. You know, it does meet the profile of a good gin, but I just think it's too hot. I really like the root beer notes that you get out of the Aviation. Yeah, the bottle is sexy. Their marketing is, I mean, it's on point. But, you know, to me, it always comes down to what's inside the bottle. You know, this is an excellent marketing campaign. It really is. You know, if you look at a Blanton's bottle, you got your little horse on top. You got the octagon shape. It's awesome. But to me, it comes down to what's inside the bottle.
Yeah.
Today, I think, and I'm not a gin drinker. I'm not a gin man. I don't like gin drinks. But I would drink the daylights out of this.
Yeah.
Aviation's on spot. Yeah, it's where it needs to be for a gin.
Yep,
right.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
So this is the Drink Neat Guys reminding you to taste what's in your glass before
Be
you
sure
put
and take
it
notes. Be sure and take notes.
before you put it in your drink.
Be sure and take notes.
Peace.
All right. Y'all be safe. We'll see you later.